Everyone uses law of attraction to generate more money and success, but what if I told you it works just as well for attracting love? 10 years ago, I was on the dating struggle bus. I spent many years in relationships with unavailable men and simply attracting relationships, dating situations that were honestly draining. After years of wondering if I would ever be able to create a healthy, loving, compatible relationship, I decided to tap into what we often call the law of attraction. Using techniques like Neville Goddard's SATS method, living in the end, scripting, and mirror work is exactly how I was able to manifest my husband and father of my child, and we've now been together for over 7 years. Whether you are on the dating struggle bus or simply just curious about some new manifestation techniques and how you can apply them to, yes, success, money, self image, but more importantly, your love life and friendships, this video is for you. I am going to break down the exact methodologies that I use, some of them even unknowingly, to attract a healthy, compatible relationship in my life and how you can do the same. I've actually used some of these very same techniques to attract healthy friendships as an adult, which we all know is not easy to do. I'm going to break down the 5 techniques that I use specifically and what I did at each step of the process that I really believed made the differentiator in completely shifting both how I was showing up in my dating life and the results that I ultimately received. If you're new here, my name is Natanya Bravo. I'm a business and life coach, and I am obsessed with helping you create the life and business of your dreams. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and make sure that you turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and let's get into it. I spent much of my 20s on what I refer to as the dating struggle bus. And if you've been there or you are currently there, then you know exactly what I mean by that. Being in dead end after dead end, relationship, situationship, all of the above. I was on all the dating apps. I listened to all the podcasts. I read all the books. And yet I still found myself coming up very short from what I actually desired. I knew that I desired a healthy, compatible relationship that would ultimately result in marriage and a family. And that was the exact opposite of what I kept attracting and tolerating in my love life. One of the very first things that I did on this process is accepting radical self responsibility. At a certain point, I could no longer blame Bumble, Tinder, or my friend who hooked me up with her friend for the dismal results that my dating life was giving me. I had to look at the common denominator, which honestly was me. And I think this is something that we all know, but we cannot attract that which we are not an energetic match for. I had to not only get clear on what is it that I actually desire, but more importantly, where is the gap between the version of me who would be attractive to that partner and who I was being at that time. And there definitely was a gap. It's no coincidence that I kept attracting emotionally unavailable men or people who just were not on the same wavelength of me because I was willing to settle for less. I did not have the self-confidence. I was not clear on my value. And I really am not sure I even believed that I could have what it is that I desired. So one of the first steps for you on this process is getting really honest about where you are and how you got there. We cannot shift that which we are not willing to acknowledge. And so while we cannot control other people and their actions and behaviors that may very well be toxic, we also have to acknowledge our role in either attracting, allowing, or enabling certain behaviors within this area of our lives. Doing this for me involved a lot of journaling and really just getting still and sitting with myself and being honest about the things that I was putting up with, how I was presenting myself on dates. I also had to recognize that I would hide and adapt my personality to the person in front of me. And how could I attract a true match for myself when I didn't even know myself? This can honestly be one of the most confronting parts of this process, but I can guarantee you it is one of the most beneficial as well. The second thing that I did is I needed to get really clear on what it is that I desire. I'm sure we've all at some point written a list of our dream partner. And while I think that can be helpful, I think oftentimes, at least speaking for myself and friends who I've seen do these lists, they can be very superficial. Oh, I want them to be this tall, to make this much money, to have this type of job, to live in this place. And while all of that is great, none of that is really the core of who that person is on a soul level and how you're really going to feel in that relationship. Because when we think of all the things that we put on the list, what we're really searching for is the feeling we believe those things are actually going to have us feel. I use scripting as a way to really tap into the feelings that I desired from a relationship. I decided to script a new empowered list as if I was already in the relationship that I desired. You can do this as a voice note to yourself or an actual list that you type or write out, but the most important thing is to focus more on the feelings as if you were already in that relationship. So, a few examples of things on my list were things like we love cooking together and creating shared experiences together. Our families love and respect our relationships, and we feel so supported and loved. I feel safe and protected and know that this is truly my best friend. If you notice, I'm both combining things that I desire from the partner, but also the feelings that I know those things will actually bring me. I'm not just talking about them, I'm talking about what the energy of our relationship is together. So on this list, I was not writing it as a I wish list. As I wrote out the list, actually started to feel the feelings as if the things that I was writing were already true. So I was both focused on the feelings the relationship would bring me, as well as what I was creating with this partner as if it was happening in present tense. I'll actually read a few more things from my list because I actually have it on my notes list. I wrote this list November 16, 2016. I met my now husband in April 2018. So please note there was a gap in between that, which I'm going to talk about in a sec of what was happening during that gap, because I did notice shifts, even though there was a year and a half waiting period before I actually met my now husband. A few other things that I included on this list, which were so different from the prior list where I really stayed superficial, was that he knows and loves God. Our families love each other and us. He is ready, desirous, and available for a committed monogamous relationship. If you notice, I was very specific there because I was no longer interested in attracting emotionally unavailable partners. I am completely free and confident to be myself with him. Again, really tapping into the feelings of what it feels like to be with this partner. He is committed to personal growth. He believes in open communication for our relationship. I feel safe and secure and desired with him. So again, I really went through all the things as if they were already so. And this is what we talk about when we talk about scripting, right? I have a few other videos on scripting, but scripting is essentially a form of journaling, but instead of writing what did actually happen or what you wish to happen, you're writing from the perspective of already being in it. And so when I'm saying that I feel safe and secure around him and I'm writing that, I'm not writing it as I hope to find someone like that. I'm writing that as if that is my actual partner right now. So again, first, we're getting uncomfortably honest. Second, we are scripting. Now, let's talk about the waiting period between when I scripted this and when I actually met my husband about a year and a half later. Now, here's the thing. Time and how you're going to meet your partner is none of your business. But what was really important for me is to, one, look at that list and look at the gap between the person I was being, how I was showing up in relationships. Was I showing up in relationships as someone who also was a safe space, someone who also prioritized personal development and was honest and open? And there were some areas where I had to be honest and say, no, I spent that year and a half both staying in the feeling of already having that as a relationship, but also working on myself. If this is the type of relationship I desire, well, I need to be an energetic match for that. And I could not honestly look at myself in the mirror and say that I was at the time. This was a period of time where I started to do a lot of self-reflection and inner work, and also be really intentional as I started to go out and date. And what I noticed now, because I'd scripted this list, things that I previously would have accepted or maybe would have done in prior relationships, I was no longer doing or accepting. That automatically started to move me more closer towards the type of partner that I ultimately was seeking, the relationship I was ultimately seeking. While I definitely went through some duds in that year and a half, what I started to notice was there was a shift in both the type of partner I was now attracting. It was no longer these emotionally draining, unavailable relationships. And I was starting to see that some of the things on the list were popping up in my dating relationships. And I also got really, really clear on what I was and wasn't available, which made it a lot easier for me to cut things off. While there's a few things that are in the direction of what I want, great, thank you for showing me that I'm on the right path. There's also some things that are not aligned. Instead of wasting a year or 2 years in relationships that were never for me in the first place, got a lot more confident in my discernment of what is and isn't right for me. So this is actually the third step. First, we get uncomfortably honest. Second, we script as if it's already so, and we do not focus focus on these superficial things. We focus on the core essence, energy of your relationship and how you and your partner are and feel and connect in that relationship. Because at the end of the day, that's really what we're after, right? And a lot of these superficial things, jobs change, physical looks can change, but the core of how you feel with someone does not have to change. After you've gotten honest with yourself and you scripted it out, now starting to bridge that gap for you. So using that list as a guidepost of how you are showing up in the world, both is what you're asking for on that list even something that you're a match for and showing up as your best self for? And two, is what you're accepting in your dating life something that is in alignment with what you have on that list? And again, this is where we start to move into number 4, which is where we are living in the end. So as I was going about my dating life, and as a lot of you know, during this time period, about a year after I did this list, I did quit my job in New York and California and move to Paris on a whim. I was not moving there to find love by any means, but I did end up meeting my husband 3 weeks later. But prior to that, I was living in the end. This is a technique that Neville Goddard teaches, and I actually didn't follow or know anything about his teachings when I was doing this work. But I had studied a lot of law of attraction books and started to learn a little bit more about what living in the end means. And living in the end is essentially mentally and emotionally feeling and living as if your wish is already fulfilled. When it comes to a relationship, it is literally showing up every day as if you were already in that dream relationship. I vividly remember about a few months before moving to Paris, I started to live in the end. And this literally felt like pretending that I already was in my dream relationship. When I would wake up, I would imagine that there was someone next to me and that we were getting ready to talk about our day together and spend our day together. When I would go and brush my teeth, I would imagine that I saw someone else's toothbrush there as well. When I would go to put my clothes away, I would imagine that there was another part of the closet that was for my partner. I've talked a little bit before about being delusional. This is what I'm talking about. But this practice of living in the end, I believe, really accelerates the process of one, you actually start to feel better because as I shared before, what we're really searching for is the feeling that we're hoping that relationship will bring us. And so by me automatically just putting myself there, I was happier. I was lighter. I was not so anxious and needy and desperate. Now, when I'm showing up on dates, I'm showing up from an empowered place, not from a I need a partner place, but I already feel good because in my mind, I already have the feelings of being in a safe, supported, loving relationship. And that completely shifted how I showed up in the dating world and thereby the results that I got. When you align your inner state with the results that you desire, you automatically are going to attract a partner who reflects that energy. What we are feeling, experiencing, believing internally is going to be a direct reflection of our outward world. So when we talk about living in the end, you can do it with the minute moments of your day. Even when I was cooking dinner by myself alone in a studio apartment, I would imagine that I was cooking for my partner. When I would pour a glass of wine, I would imagine that there was a partner there to pour a glass of wine too. And again, did I feel absolutely nuts? Yes, sometimes. And I will say that this works because it ultimately put me in the feeling of feeling supportive, loved, joy, connected with a partner before that person came into my life. By having that without needing the physical manifestation of a partner, I showed up as someone who was full of joy, of love, of feeling supported. And I didn't need the physical manifestation to feel that. The physical manifestation then became the bonus. So I was showing up in the world as someone radiant and confident. And what I found was that the people that were now attracted to me started to more and more match the things that I'd scripted on that list. Now, the last thing I did, and I honestly feel like this was the most powerful one for me, and the thing that really made the difference is something that Neville Goddard calls SATS, state akin to sleep. And I will say again, I did not follow Neville Goddard's teachings when I was doing this work. I believe I listened to someone's podcast and they reference a similar exercise. They may have learned it from Neville Goddard, I'm not sure. But what I would do is before I would go to sleep, I would actually physically move my body to one side of the bed, imagine that my partner was on the other side of the bed, close my eyes and visualize being cuddled in their arms to sleep, feeling the love, like talking to each other in the bed. I would actually visualize how our day went together. So I went to sleep in that state of feeling loved, protected, supported, cherished, by my partner. And I know that Neville teaches this because there's something really powerful about when we're in a sleep state and all of our conscious mechanisms are less heightened and we can really tap into that subconscious every night. And I actually remember when I first moved to Paris, I got on dating apps. I was already on them from when I was living in New York and LA, but I opened them up in Paris, really not with the idea of I'm going to meet my husband here, but more so, who knows, I can meet someone fun. I don't know anyone here, maybe find some new restaurants and bars people can introduce me to. I had a completely different attitude about dating because I was not in a mode of trying to find a partner, which I think again shifts everything because the energy that I was coming from was so much lighter and fun. And simultaneously, I knew that long term, I do desire those things. And this is actually around the time that I started to learn about this idea of going to sleep with visualizing. I vividly remember the Airbnb that I got in Paris was a studio apartment, being by myself in a bed, moving to one side of the bed, closing my eyes, imagining my imaginary partner, aka a pillow, next to me, cuddling me, telling me what a great day we had. I would visualize our day together, walking around Paris, sharing a meal in a cafe, having a drink together, and I would go to sleep in that state. With the SATS method, you were essentially repeating that visualization until you fall asleep. Again, it can be simple things. It could be a fake conversation that you have with this partner, or again, imagining that they're cuddling you in the bed. And for me, actually physically moving my body to one side of the bed really helped me tap into that visualization as well. So you can play around with this in different ways. There are even audios you can listen to on YouTube that can help you with it too. But this for me was one of the most powerful because I just vividly remember this practice really allowing me to feel the feelings. Many of you may know that I met my now husband 3 weeks after moving to Paris. I do not think that was a coincidence. I believe that all of the work that I'd been doing in the 1.5 to 2 years prior, as I shared in this video, so getting really honest about what my role is and the outcomes I was creating in my dating life, scripting from a feeling place and not a superficial surface level place, living in the gap between having scripted that and bringing that to life and allowing myself to do the inner work to actually embody the type of person who would attract the type of partner that I've scripted, living in the end. So again, this is where I was actually practicing life as if the relationship I desired was already mine. And then the SATS method, where every night before sleep, I was actually going through my own visualization. All of these practices, I believe, allowed me to, one, become the version of myself that was going to attract an equally yoked partner and the type of relationship that I ultimately desire for a long-term, lifelong partnership, and to actually find that person. And one of the biggest things that you just want to remember on this process is you have to release desperation. Like with anything that we're manifesting, the harder that we hold on to it, and I need it to happen, and I need it to happen at this time frame and in this way, the more that it will run away from us. You have to trust and show up and act as if it is already done. And even though there was a gap in between me setting the intention of scripting that person and actually meeting my now husband, that gap was so much more fun than the years prior because I was now becoming a person who was genuinely happy and fulfilled even before I met the husband. Then the partnership and relationship that I have with my husband was not the thing that I needed to fulfill me or to bring me joy. It was now this bonus because I'd already done the work to find that fulfillment and joy on my own. As I shared, I've actually done this exact same practice for friendships as well. We all know it's not easy to make adult friendships, and I do the exact same things. Getting honest about what it is that I'm creating in friendships or not creating that's not bringing me outcomes that I desire, and then scripting out what it is that I would feel if I had the friendships that I'm ultimately craving. And then starting to become the type of friend that would attract those friendships. And then moving into living in the end as if I already have those friendships and relationships, which then empowers me to take actions in alignment that ultimately bring me closer to those types of people. And last but certainly not least, the SATS method, which again, I think is so powerful when you are visualizing and putting yourself in a state of the wish fulfilled right before sleep. A lot of you asked me for this video of how I met my partner. I hope that this was helpful for you. I would love to hear from you in the comments of what your takeaway is. And if you haven't seen yet, I recently opened up our new community, The Shift, where I talk about all things law of attraction, manifestation, personal development, subconscious reprogramming every single month. I'm so excited for those of you who are already in. We have a group call every month. I share resources every month, and we have a private community for you to connect with other people on this same path. I know sometimes we can all feel a little crazy, especially if your friends and family are not into this type of personal development and growth. If that is you and you'd like to continue your own journey in community, I'd love to invite you to join us in The Shift. Just click the link in the description, and I cannot wait to see you on the next video.